Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, August 29th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? We've got here the Three of Wands in its upright in combination with the Tower in its reversal. Let's talk a little bit about this energy right now. So, we were unpacking this a bit before we started the podcast. The thing I want to describe this energy, the one thing I need to stress right now is the best way I can describe this energy is it's energy that feels very much like it is in flux. There's a lot of the energy that's moving in a lot of different directions. And one of the reasons that we're seeing that right now has to do with the proportionality of planets that are currently retrograding in Aries. We've got Neptune and Saturn that are retrograding together. Both those planets have to do with the context of the past. We also have Chiron and Eris that are retrograding together. Now, and the thing that you have to recognize is there's a lot of that proximity in relationality to these planets retrograding together. Now, what does that effectively bring up? It brings up the observation that when we have trauma in relationality to the past, it's hard to stop holding on to the past, right? Like this is what we talk about as it relates to those wounds. And the space by which we identify and we work through something, I keep on seeing there's something very fundamental and important about that working into a space of becoming nourishing. But one of the things that we see, and this is the positive space, in relationality to that Three of Wands with the Tower in its reversal, is it's a conversation on what it is that we're working on doing better. It's the ability to identify and recognize how we are working to energetically repair things. Now, one of the things that we were seeing, and this is what I meant in relationality to something that keeps on coming through in these readings, is it's a conversation on what time can and cannot heal. The beauty of time, the reason we say time heals all wounds, it's a little bit of a misconception. It does not mean the context by which everything is okay in time because things are forgotten. Trauma teaches us that that is not the case, but rather it's the understanding that we heal from trauma via the personal understanding, the ability to understand and recognize something that energetically occurred. Trauma is formed in situations and circumstances that lack logical meaning. Right? It's a misunderstanding of something that often creates the egoic wound of the trauma. Now, what's beautiful about what we're seeing energetically is I am seeing that there is energetic restoration that is happening in the context of this energy. The restoration that we see that is effectively occurring in these modalities has to do in the context of an overproportionality of emotion in something that was not important, right? This is often how time heals something, because in those experiences, right, those moments when we look back upon something and we feel that something that we articulated upon was emotionally unreasonable, it allows the space by which something can be moved forward in a better fashion. So I do feel like there is a lot of that quality of restoration that's occurring in these experiences. And this is the observation of what is effectively healing at this time. What does not heal are modalities or experiences where we hold to an energetic standard. The observation of something that is energetically important via the space or place by which we feel the need. We don't desire to, but we feel we must bring a lot of strong emotions to a circumstance or situation. What often happens, and even in those moments, we feel frustrated at ourselves for having to get energetically emotional. But what's beautiful about time is time often clarifies to us why we felt so strongly. Like that's what's beautiful about time, is that when we talk about the fact that time heals us, it's the observation of the gift of time brings to things, which is the ability to have perspective. And this is why for a lot of these relationships that are coming together at this time, that feeling or that impact of recognizing and understanding what effectively feels like it's allowing for the context of an energetic resolution. This is either the energy in separation resolving and healing from unhealthy energetic cycles. And those would be energetic cycles wherein the observation of coming back towards another is built upon the context of the difference between wanting to energetically resolve something and work through something versus someone moving away from something with the expectation that time would resolve it for them. Time does not resolve things, like in the context of that, if we've got an energetic standard. So that's why I keep on hearing frustrated but fortified. I would not be surprised if there's energy right now in separation, working through a situation or circumstance of something from the past returning, either tangibly, spiritually, or energetically. But the perception and being able to see the unhealthy cycle is what's fortifying the energetic direction. And while the energy might be frustrated, being frustrated, but rather than devastated, that in itself is a sign of the energetic healing, right? It's a frustration that moves one in the pathwork of determination as it relates to what feels like one can heal. This brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into and for a lot of these relationships right now, that's why I keep on hearing the formation of a lot of these relationships that are coming together in this context. They're breathing a sigh of relief. Why are they breathing a sigh of relief right now? It is the relief in being able to recognize and identify what they're effectively trying to do that is allowing the clarity of the healing. For a lot of the energy in these experiences, those relationships that are coming together right now, there was potentially the articulation of an energetic cycle that one was healing from. But I keep on seeing that these are relationships where someone has been hurt before, in the difference between articulating one's desires but moving in accordance to them. It's easy to say that one is healing from something, but I feel like there's literally some energy right now in separation who has had to recover from experiences of someone articulating something and then moving in the oppositional direction of it. So this is why I keep on hearing for a lot of these relationships, they're coming together even deeper right now, and they're moving into divine union with that sigh of relief. It's the feeling of, it's the energy that feels energetically restored because they're observing the embodied manifestation, the ability to articulate upon what one energetically intends, but also being able to move in accordance to it. This brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now. Clarification. Yep, there's that five, man, the Five of Swords keeps on coming up for the energy coming into divine union. So why are we seeing this for the energy coming into divine union right now? Because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now, it's working through, I keep on hearing healthy static. Why am I hearing that the energy coming into divine union right now is working through healthy static? It is the observation and recognition of what it is that they are trying to do in a better way, the observation of what it is that they are working upon. And there's an expediency that we see that is occurring in a lot of those situations, the ability to move through something with a faster sense of determination. So why are we identifying that for a lot of those relationships, there's that expediency? Because it is the energy that is able to observe and recognize what it is that they're trying to do in a better way. And for a lot of these relationships, the ability to advance or to speed up a timeline is almost requiring the articulation to the energy outside of connection as to why, helping energy understand the difference between a timeline that is moved forward with rapidity because it feels like it's energetically healthy, may be requiring them to unpack a past where they may have moved in the same fashion, but out of a sense of desperation. So for a lot of the energy doing that work, I keep on hearing it's like it's a lot of those conversations in terms of talking about something from the past, but in a way that feels like it is energetically restorative and impactful. This brings us to the energy deep within divine union. Clarification on these two, please. Can I please get? We've got the Judgment card in its upright in combination with our Six of Cups in its reversal. I'm going to say this again. This energy right now is most frustrating for energy deep within divine union. Why? Because we see that for a lot of the energy that's working through something here, it is the frustration that fortifies. It's the frustration that fortifies direction. So that is beautiful energy that is in separation. It's a frustration that fortifies direction for energy in separation, working on healing. It's the relationships that are coming together, mutual frustration that is talking about I keep on hearing they are building into the context of feeling frustrated for one another. While for the energy that is deep within divine union right now, everything that we're effectively seeing has to do with the modality and the experiences of understanding and recognizing what one is trying to do in a greater way. So for even in the space of the energy feeling frustrated and fortified that's moving deeper into divine union, that observation of being able to articulate upon something and being able to see and identify what one is trying to do, like even in the context of them having to unpack a past that they'd rather not speak towards, but they're utilizing it to be able to articulate and define the difference between the past experience and the present. We keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy moving into the space of productivity because it is the energy that is creating I keep on hearing they're healing. They're healing a lot of the outside static of partnership with the clarification of what feels energetically restorative. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union. And for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, what we're effectively observing at this time has to do with the fact that it doesn't require the sense of fortifying the direction of partnership. In fact, it may be feeling like you're just dealing with a lot of, like I keep on hearing, it feels like it's pesky energy. It's things that it's like tiny like energetic problems, things that like things that have a tendency of wearing one's self thin, right? And so the ability, I keep on hearing, the ability to allow compassion to guide through tiny frustrations is requiring a lot of the energy to become more comprehensive, because I keep on seeing that, and I feel like that's the important thing. When we're working on something and we're getting really frustrated about it, the ability to step back and have that sense of comprehensiveness allows us to be able to see something in a bigger way. So I keep on seeing that is a bit of the gift that the energy within counterpart connection is doing, because if this is the energy that's feeling the energy of this current signature, which feels like it really creates that space of wanting to over internalize, the gift of healthy partnership, as long as we're not projecting, is being able to have or identify that feeling of having and maintaining perspective. This brings us back to the energy and separation, clarification between our Three of Wands in combination with our Tower card in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Boom. I'm going to say it again. Communication, 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 communication. And when you are running out of a little communication, add a little bit more communication to it. There's something very significant, and I'll tell you right now, the thing about this energy that I just need to articulate. There is a tendency or a desire in this energy right now to want to hermit up. And it's not, and here's the thing I'm going to tell you. It's not that hermiting up is not necessarily positive. Hermit energy can be very positive. But the thing that you want to be wary about right now is we've got a lot of this energy that is in Aries, which is working into the context of taking things, of feeling like very, very energetically testy. We then have a lot of the energy in Cancer, which is a lot of that heightened sensitivity to things. So we've got the combination force right now of the testiness of a lot of the energy in Aries, like a little bit of that pugnaciousness. And then we've got a lot of the Cancer energy, which makes one feel very, very energetically sensitive. It's like... And it makes one want to like move away from something. But the thing that we and this is the thing that we work through, that often those with Cancerian placements and Aries placements need to understand, identify. Virgos have this tendency too, that when we become reactive and seclusive, we miss the opportunity for the energetic solution to appear in relationality to a problem. Right? It's a lot of that energetic patience that we bring to something, right? The ability to work through our own frustration that allows us the context to be energetically fortified in terms of finding an energetic solution to something. So everything I keep on seeing here, and that's what I meant in terms of the energy, I keep on seeing the energy in separation right now. That's what's so funny about it. Like these relationships that are coming together, I feel like the energy in separation that is continuing to heal is frustrated but fortified, which is potentially energy in separation that is healing, but the observation of the clarity of what exactly is the nature of what they're healing from, being able to see the full scope of something, potentially is the gift of some of this energy in separation. And that's why we often talk about the fact you'll be healed, you'll heal, but you'll be annoyed as you do it. Because the feeling of annoyance is the feeling of you not overly internalizing something that is energetically frustrating. While for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, a lot of those relationships that are coming together, there's the energy that I keep on hearing relieved and fortified. Because if these are relationships where they were articulating the nature of what it is that they're healing from, and the retrograde has kind of brought it back, brought it back into the scope of the present, then the feeling of not only, I feel like these are the counterparts that are energetically relieved, because it's the energy that understands the value of someone being, I keep on hearing, true to their word, or the space of not only articulating upon the manifestation goal, but also moving in the direction to it. This brings us to the energy that's moving deeper into divine union. And this is what I meant. It's like you can tell the energetic annoyance that like rises right now, depending on where you are in the frequency cycles. And that's why I keep on saying this type of energy in separation, coming into divine union, it's helpful. It's annoying. It's like frustrating, but it's helpful. In the energy deep within divine union, it's just, it's like it's like having to carry a lot of the weight of the retrograde here. Clarification between our Tower card in its reversal and our 5, and it's interesting too, our 5 of Swords. This was stuck into the bottom of the deck because this also has to do a bit with the Pluto and retrograde that we're experiencing. This is not that, is what I keep on hearing. This is not that, is what I keep on hearing for the energy coming into divine union. Why is the energy saying this is not that? Because I keep on getting the same message. You'll recall that a lot of those relationships that are coming into divine union right now, we're expediting timelines, especially related to that time around the Aquarian full moon. So the ability to expedite something and then potentially healthy static around relationship, the concern as it relates to the expediency is almost requiring a little bit of energetic unpacking for energy coming into union and being able to articulate the difference. I keep on hearing a lot of the energy right now, those magician partnerships are having to go through experiences of working through chirality. And what is chirality? Something that looks very similar to something that wasn't good for us, but actually is very energetically restorative to us. So I keep on hearing a lot of that energy having to go through a little bit of those chirality conversations, which is like someone seeing something on the outside and being like, is that okay? And being like, no, it's better than okay. It's excellent, is what I keep on hearing. Because it's the similarity of the fact that sometimes we move things sometimes we move with quickness to something because it's out of desperation, but sometimes we move with quickness towards something because it's in a space of celebration. So that's why I keep on hearing that those relationships are having to do a little bit of that energetic clearing in relationality to healthy static by being able to articulate the difference between this and that, is what I keep on seeing. Continuing to get clarification between our 5 of Swords and its reversal in combination with our Judgment card. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got here the Knight of Swords in its reversal. This is why this energy right now, if you're in divine union, I wouldn't be surprised if you tell me right now that this energy feels like rubbish. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if you're going to tell me you feel like you're going through the slings and arrows of frustration, is what I keep on seeing right now. Because the thing is with the energy, I got to tell you right now, do you see how all of this energy that we're experiencing right now it's the frustration that fortifies direction. The frustration that fortifies direction in separation. Wonderful. Couldn't be better. The frustration that fortifies direction coming into divine union. It's annoying, but it's clarifying. You know what I mean? Like, it's annoying, but it's clarifying. The frustration that fortifies direction, when you're in divine union, there's nowhere for the frustration to go because the direction is energetically clear. Okay? The energy is clear. It's not a question of direction. It just feels unnecessary. So I would not be surprised if you're navigating a lot of little energetic annoyances right now during this retrograde. It's just like, it's a lot of this, like it's a lot of that. I told you, it's like Aries. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like all these little like things in Aries, like poke, 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 poke. It's like, it's a very, but I'll tell you right now, the work to be done when we're navigating energy like this is making sure that you're not projecting it on counterpart. Because I'll tell you right now, and not hermiting up, because the desire to over internalize has never been greater with a lot of the heavy, and that's the thing with the Virgo energy. We love the Virgo energy, but when we've got the kind of Virgo energy we have right now in a retrograde like this, you've got the dual force of things going wrong, and then you got the combination of the energy that goes, never has the desire to over internalize been greater, right? It feels very, I keep wondering, it's like it feels very energetically directed towards the self. But that's why I'm going to say it again, for please, 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 please do not assume things right now, particularly as it relates to another person's intentions. Okay? You will thank me. You will thank me after this retrograde period, after we come out of this eclipse, continuing to get clarification between our Judgment card and our Six of Cups in its reversal. We've got here our Five of Pentacles. Our Five of Pentacles in its reversal. So what are we seeing? Like, what are we seeing with the Five of Pentacles energy in its reversal? I keep on identifying. There's something, I feel like there's something very energetically important that we're identifying there, particularly and especially in relationality to, and I want to tell you even now, there is positive work to be done in every energetic frequency. Okay, there's positive, but I'll tell you right now that the type of energy that we're experiencing right now, it's a lot. It's really good for like clearing up past things, is what I keep on seeing. Like working through the context of that. It's a lot of, and I keep on seeing too, like and even in the space of being energetically restorative. The best way I can describe the energy that we're experiencing is identifying and articulating upon what we're trying to do better, is what I keep on seeing. Okay, this is what we mean in terms of being comprehensive. When we're trying to be energetically comprehensive, that's what's beautiful about being comprehensive. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to be comprehensive. Why? Because when you're vulnerable and comprehensive, you're able to articulate to another what your strong suit isn't, right? The observation of being able to articulate upon something that you're working on doing better allows the ability to do it better. It is the vulnerability that becomes the energetic strength. And so for a lot of the energy that we're effectively seeing right now, and that's why I said, like, it's helpful if you've come into energy like this, having already done your shadow work. And again, I'm not a big fan of the word shadow work because I feel like it creeps people out. Shadow work is effectively talking through aversion therapy, right? It's working through the space of navigating our own energetic aversions in order to be able to identify and recognize what it is that it's understanding our own vulnerability. And this is why we talk about energy like this, because when we feel skittish about something that is healthy for us, we're able to articulate the reason why. We are able to identify very clearly the reason that something creates a sense of uncomfortability within us. When we do not, when we're not in that space, that's usually doing that work helps us understand the direction by which we have to apply healing. Because when we feel aversion to something and we're able to articulate it, that is compassion. That is the ability to have compassion towards something that we build an aversion to because there's something important that exists upon it, right? It's the being able to talk about our force of intention in a way that fortifies. When we feel passionate about things, but we're not able to articulate why, and we move in accordance to them, we are run by our passions. Your ego is on a rampage. Okay, that's like, and what we want to avoid, I am trying desperately to help you guys with this. We want to avoid egoic rampage energy. Okay, we want to avoid egoic rampage energy as we move into this full moon energy that we've got coming up, because it can create and that's what I keep on seeing. We've got a lot of that force of intensity that's occurring right now. The feeling of something being directed to the self, right? And then you've got that feeling, the Virgo energy coming in, which allows more of that sense of like feeling energetic pressure. And then the Virgo energy that once you over internalize it. And the one thing I keep on trying to tell you guys is we've got the eclipse energy coming up, and eclipses do not have an energetic signature. They just amplify things. So imagine that, and it just feels like it gets more intense. But the ability to navigate through that is being able to recognize and identify one's own vulnerability, right? Because when you're able to identify that, be like, yeah, that's, like that's the observation of something that one is working on doing in a better fashion. It's the ability to articulate upon something. It's the ability to identify and recognize where that work begins. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, this is what I meant. It's like working through the flux of the self that brings with it energetic comprehension. And I feel like and I want to tell you even now, like especially with that Pisces, full moon, right? It's the ability to articulate upon how much we care about something, right, in a space by which we're able to bring meaning towards it. So that's just something that I'm going to keep on bringing forth right now, and that's why I'm going to say even now, if you don't feel grounded right now, I want you to make sure that you're getting energetic support for it. If you don't feel energetically grounded right now, I want you to get energetic support for it now, because it's not going to ease up. It's going to potentially intensify. So being able to make sure that you're in a healthy space is very important as we move towards this lunation cycle. Continuing to get clarification between our Eight of Wands in its upright in combination with our Nine of Swords in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got here the Knight of Pentacles in its reversal. What are we energetically seeing in relationality to and one of the things I need to articulate upon, and this is what I meant about this period particularly being one that the ability to, like, the relationships that are coming together at this time are incredibly energetically strong. Why are we seeing that they're so energetically strong right now? Because for a lot of the relationships, you have to understand that going through this experience that we're experiencing energetically right now, a lot of that intensity, a lot of questioning of the self, the desire to overly internalize. This is a lot of the energy that is building a healthy, strong foundation in relationship by being able to articulate to one another about those vulnerabilities. You'll remember, I even told you, I keep on hearing some of these relationships are effectively like breathing a sigh of energetic relief. Why are they breathing a sigh of energetic relief? Because it is the observation and the understanding of identifying and recognizing, I keep on hearing, the difference between the articulation point of what one is trying to do better. I keep on seeing there was a little bit of this anxiety that was occurring in some of those relationships as it relates to someone articulating upon a past, but the energetic fear of the past potentially returning versus the energy being in a space of moving towards the manifestation, the embodied manifestation of one's words matching their action. So for a lot of the energy, I keep on seeing they're being fortified. The relationships are being fortified via the retrograde cycle. The past energetically returning, but the energy not changing their direction in relationality to relationship. This is where a lot of that healing's coming through. At the same time, for the energy that's in separation, for a lot of this energy that's in separation, the observation, if you will, in being able to recognize and identify the difference, I keep on hearing, between something that is restorative to the self, right? The ability to identify the work by which one is able to progress forward as it relates to holding an emotional energetic standard upon something. I keep on hearing the hard part about that for some of the energy in separation is understanding our emotions as it relates to standards does not erode in the wake of time when we're healing. And if there's a situation or circumstance where someone from the past is trying to return to see if someone's standards are still intact, like this is almost the energy observing the difference between someone that wants to energetically work upon something versus energy that was trying to build upon a relationship of desperation, which is the space by which one hopes to move away from something with the hope that the standard goes away. But that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, the observation of circumstances like that is what is fortifying the energetic direction towards what feels like it is healing. Continuing to get clarification between our Nine of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Knight of Swords in its reversal. We've got here the Justice card in its reversal. So something that we're seeing that's very energetically important in relationality to that work that we're identifying here has to do with circumstances or situations in relationality to, I feel like the best way I can articulate or define what I'm energetically seeing has to do with the space of, I keep on seeing like working through something in a certain fashion and identifying and recognizing, I keep on hearing the clarity of intention by which another person is able to articulate and define what it is that they're trying to do energetically. I keep on feeling like every time I read for the energy moving into divine union, it's working into the context of recognizing and identifying the difference in those chirality situations. Because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, the expedition of a manifestation goal, being able to articulate and define upon something, is allowing, I keep on seeing the force of intention in relationality to articulating the difference between moving something quickly, moving something forward together quickly, because I keep on hearing because one is building upon the expectation or the energetic excitement of feeling energetically stable within something, versus healing from circumstances or situations wherein I keep on seeing another is trying to articulate what wasn't like something from the past where one may have moved in rapidity due to a sense of desperation. So I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that conversation that is potentially occurring right now between what feels like it is energetically fundamental or what feels like it is strong, like helping another person understand the speed with sure footing, as opposed to the speed of the past that may have felt more like it was desperate action. So for a lot of that energy, I keep on seeing it's like it's clearing the air of energetic static outside of partnership, but in the best way possible. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Swords in its reversal and our Five of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got here the Five of Cups in its reversal. So what are we effectively identifying in relationality to that Five of Cups in its reversal? One of the things, how do I describe this best? One of the things that we're energetically seeing, and this is what I meant for the energy deep within divine union right now, having to kind of, I feel like having to kind of work through something in a way that I keep on seeing. It's like this type of energy, the frustration that fortifies is helpful for energy and separation and moving deeper into divine union. When we're deep within divine union, it can feel more like having to navigate not being too hard on the self is the best way that I can articulate and define it. I keep on seeing I keep on hearing again, the ability to over internalize upon something, to be very hard on the self. This type of energy, like, there's a lot of that intensity that we see occurs in those experiences. But that's why I keep on getting that the ability to feel that intensity, but then just allow the space by which one is able to, and I feel like this is, again, it's a bit of a gift of that full moon that we just experienced in Aquarius, right? Like when we feel intense about something that feels like it's energetically directed towards us, we're able to build into the context of perspective that allows us the ability to see something in a bigger way. And so that's the beauty of some of those energetic partnerships right now. It's helping, I keep on hearing, it's helping each other get out of the funk of the over-internalization by being able to see something, like see the energetic bigger picture upon things. So I feel like there's a lot of that work that's occurring there. And I keep on getting, it takes time, right? Because I keep on hearing, like, that is the space by which we become energetically comprehensive. I keep on hearing, we don't focus on the frustration. We move towards what we're trying to do in a greater fashion. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Pentacles and our Justice card in its reversal. We've got the King of Wands in its upright. Now this is interesting, and the reason I'm saying that this is interesting is because we have seen like, and I need to point this out, we haven't seen a lot of masculine energy that has been arriving in the cards over the last few days. You can go over to the stack to see the photos of each day's spread, but that would often indicate to me that a lot of the masculine energy right now is in hermit mode. And remember what I said, like that ability of working through hermit mode right now, it's like never has the desire to do so ever been stronger. I told you this is the type of energy that we're going through. But that's why I feel like the beauty of seeing the King of Wands, and this is what I keep on hearing. And that's the one thing I would kind of help you with right now. Don't overly internalize an energy like this. Communicate is what I keep on getting. Don't overly internalize, communicate. Because when we are able to energetically communicate, it allows the ability to resolve things. Because I keep on hearing the headspace is a very tiny place. The headspace is where we pace. Is what I keep on hearing. The headspace is where we pace, and the headspace is where we fixate upon things, right? Like that, the headspace is a very tiny place. It allows us to get very overly caught up in things. But that's why when we communicate, we're effectively able to energetically clear the air. And I'm going to say it again, like the desire or the ability to articulate and communicate upon our own frustrations or our own anxieties. I keep on saying, like, never is a lot of that determination point greater, because our own ability of doing so to a certain extent, I just keep on seeing it allows the context by which we are able to articulate and define upon things. And what's beautiful about this is I just want to show you for a lot of the relationships that are coming together right now, it's that observation of what feels, I keep on hearing that observation of what feels energetically like practical, or what allows the space by which one is able to build into the context of trust. Like one of the things I keep on seeing in some of these relationships, I either see energy in separation, right? I see energy in separation that is working upon or energetically defining on what they are, like what they are healing from. Like that is the benefit or the gift of energy like this. It's like I feel like I keep on seeing there's a lot of energy right now that is releasing trauma. And how is trauma energetically released? Trauma is released when we're able to have context and be able to see with clarity something that did not make energetic sense to us. So the ability to have that sense of energetic release there, I keep on feeling like it's restorative and it's affirming, but it's also very, very frustrating. While for a lot of the energy that's coming into divine union right now, a lot of that observation or recognition point as it relates to how one is trying, like what one's intentions are, this is the energy that's breathing a sigh of relief because they're observing. I keep on hearing because they are observing the identification point of another, I keep on saying the identification point of an embodied manifestation. I feel like there's a lot of energy right now in separation, moving into partnership, that was holding their breath to a certain extent as it relates to what another person was articulating that they were healing from. Because I keep on hearing the same thing in separation. It's very easy to say that one is healing when one is in fact waiting, is what I keep on hearing. Like that's what I keep on hearing from the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, but feeling that, breathing that sigh of relief. Because I keep on hearing the difference between healing and waiting is the articulation of the past that arrives back, and we move in the direction of what it is that's ahead of us, not what's energetically behind us. So that's why I see that for a lot of the relationships that are coming together at this time, this retrograde, bringing things from the past back, either tangibly, energetically, or spiritually, is having that energetic sigh of relief because they are able to energetically observe what it is that feels energetically restorative to them. So there's a lot of that. I keep on saying there's a lot of that. I keep on hearing there's a lot of that vivacity or a lot of that capacity there. But it's like I keep on hearing it's like the energetic delight of being able to, and I feel like even now they may be sharing each other what those anxieties or fears were. While we see even now that for a lot of the energy that is moving, like for a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union right now. And these are those magician partnerships that I articulated were coming together from between the time of the solstice up until Mercury and Venus station direct behind Neptune. We've got, like, this is a lot of that. This is more clearing the air is what we're seeing here. Yeah, especially with the death card. There's that Scorpio energy. It's potentially having to articulate upon the difference between something from the past and something to the present that looks similar, but could not be more different. And that's the thing, that's the difficulty point when we're working through chirality situations, which is sometimes something that doesn't feel supportive to us looks very similar to something that feels restorative to us. But it is the observation of the nuance as to whether, I keep on hearing, whether we're rushing something from a state of celebration or whether we're rushing something from a state of desperation that articulates whether something feels like it's energetically nourishing to us versus something that we're trying to heal from. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of those relationships, that ability to articulate and define and clear the air. That's why I keep on hearing they're navigating healthy static, which is someone potentially articulating concern upon something, but then feeling energetically restored in the context of being able to recognize and identify something that's moving in a positive direction towards something that feels like it's nourishing to the self in the context of receiving it. This brings us to the energy deep within divine union, and this is why this energy right now, deep within divine union, is potentially the most frustrating. I keep on getting a lot of the work that we're experiencing right now is working on not projecting this type of energy on counterpart. Why? Because there's with all of the energy in Aries, like a lot of the energy, like retrograding in Aries, it can feel like a lot of little things just piling up at once. So it's like, it's a lot of like, it's like, I keep on getting, it's like a little bit of that energetic pressure that we feel, right? And it feels good to energetically release that pressure. But even in the space of like Jupiter and Cancer, we've got that hypersensitivity and a lot of that energetic pressure, like working in the context of, I keep on hearing, communicating through things instead of reacting to them, allows the space by which we're able to identify and articulate what we're trying to do in a greater fashion. So everything I keep on seeing there, it's like, I feel like what's interesting about the energy deep within divine union is I keep on hearing transformation in the realm of communication, right? I keep on hearing the ability to talk through something, or the ability to articulate and define upon something that just allows for that breakthrough as it relates to expansion. I feel like there's a lot of that space that I'm seeing by way of conversation. And I feel like the thing about it though is like, and I keep on getting like, it's not the space by which we like hold something within us. It's a space by which we're able to expand and expound upon it. So I feel like there's a lot of that work that is energetically happening there, but a lot of it I keep on seeing like it's like I keep on hearing perpetual communication perpetual communication eases the pressure valve of frustration, which is the ability by which we're able to articulate and define what we're trying to do that allows us to have an energetic breakthrough. Continuing to get the final card for today's spread between our King of Wands in its upright in combination with our Death card in its upright. This is the type of energy we're dealing with right now. And especially, yeah, it's, it's the Six of Pentacles. I'm not surprised to see the Death card coming out today, because one of the things you have to observe, like I need to show you right now, the moon is currently in Scorpio. Okay. So we've got the moon in Scorpio, and these two cards are like very scorpionic in combination together, the King of Wands and the Death card. The one thing you have to be conscientious about on a day like today is not being energetically reactive. Okay, this is something I need to point this out. This is a very scorpionic tendency. And those with Scorpio placements know this well, right? Like the ability to articulate upon, to do something quickly, right? The ability to do something quickly because you're feeling energetically defensive is often what scorpionic energy comes here to heal, right? It's a lot of that reactivity point that goes like, when we feel vulnerable, we often act without thinking, is what I keep on seeing. But the thing is, and we also have to recognize this, the reason we have to identify the fact that we articulate upon vulnerability rather than react to it is that others don't know what we're energetically sensitive about. And this can sometimes work in the detriment of those with scorpionic placements. I'll tell you right now, go find a Scorpio and say, tell me about that time that you inadvertently felt defensive and you really, really hurt someone in the context of trying to feel emotionally protective to yourself, right? That observational point of like, I keep on hearing like that feeling of like wanting to be snappy upon something. It often does not serve the self, because it's often, you have to understand, that's often the space of the ego that comes forward. We also sometimes form a lot of trauma in this space as well. And this is what we mean. This is the type of work, like this is the complication of some of the work that we're seeing that is potentially happening in experiences or circumstances like the ones that we're currently experiencing. It's the observation of our own reactivity that allows the context by which we are able to identify and feel fortified. Now, what's interesting about this, and this is what we mean in relationality to time healing things, sometimes we're energetically reactive and we carry like a lot of weight on that because it's the observation of something that we wish that we could do in a better way, right? It's the observation of something that we wish we could change or something that we wish that we could modify. This is often the space by which wisdom comes towards us, right? Like that is what we talk about in relationality to core memories that are sometimes formed in spaces or places wherein we identify that the person that we are today would not make the same energetic action as the person that we used to be in the past. At the same time, and this is what's so difficult, and this is why I see a lot of chirality that's forming right now, sometimes we feel very bad about doing something in the moment that it happens because we are being reactive. And then in the context of time clarifies to us. Time says, stick around, give me a second. Let me explain to you why. If you stick around for a few minutes, let me walk you through exactly why you reacted the way you did, right? Because it's that clarification point that blesses the energetic action by being able to recognize and identify why it elicited so strong a reaction from us. And this is the type of healing that we're seeing that's occurring right now, because it's either the space by which one is coming into the identification point of recognizing and understanding what one could be doing in a better way, versus those experiences or modalities where one holds very, very, like one builds upon the energetic stabilization point in terms of what one, like why one felt the way that one did. So again, it's like I would not be so I keep on hearing it's learning or affirming. Right? This type of energy right now is learning or affirming, which is the observation of working through something and building into the context of trying to do something in a better way, or feeling energetically affirmed in relationality to an action from the past that you understand to an even better context. So again, make sure that you're navigating this with a space of stabilization. If you feel rocky in this type of energy, I want you really remembering and focusing on the fact that the present is a gift, because it's where we begin. Right? It's the space by which we can start doing things in a better way. And the ability to be able to articulate and amplify that allows for a bit of that modality or experience by which, like, this is a type of beautiful energy for setting new intentions for the self, setting new energetic resolutions, working into building into the plans in terms of relationality to how one is working to adapt or change. Like, that's a type of energy that we're experiencing right now. What we want to avoid overly internalizing in energy like this, or feeling like something is directed at the self. Because energy like this, especially with the combination force of the Scorpio energy, also in combination with a lot of that Virgo energy, the need for perfection, it can create a lot of that projection. So make sure that you're navigating it in a space that feels like it is productive. The change that you are affecting to do, rather than working through the hardness of the self, is what I keep on hearing. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially with the two of Wands and its reversal. So the one thing I want to say right now, and that's what I meant, Do not get passive aggressive in this type of energy. Please. And I need to stress this right now because I'm going to keep on saying this with this type of energy that we're experiencing. The desire to over internalize has never been greater. But and I keep on hearing also the desire the desire to over internalize, but also the desire to put intention towards others' actions. Remember, everybody's going through this energy right now. If you're feeling like you're on the ropes, somebody else is probably feeling like they're on the ropes. So don't believe, I keep on hearing like, don't believe the hype of your own ego making you feel like something is too energetically concentrated upon the self. Allow the space by which you are able to bring, I keep on hearing, be the change that you want to bring to a situation. Be the force of intention. Be the sound mind, be the sound logic, right? Because I keep on hearing reactivity and volatility moves us backwards. Recognizing and identifying and being the force of change that you hope that you hope to find around you is how we actually energetically get somewhere. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site, so I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone who attended our recent class on the Tower card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Star card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied prior to beginning that class. But if you would like to catch up, now is a great time to join. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my stack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a complimentary. You'll also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. That is access to over 17 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my stack, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of classes, you will also receive one of the things I try to do in these classes, you also have access to a one-on-one mentorship class with me and to ask any questions to be able to move you towards your own tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any, you'll also have access to my Mystic Meditation articles. I release those bi-monthly to let you know about what we've been seeing energetically. I'll be releasing one shortly on navigating through this full moon that we have coming up. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on and journey work. I'm sorry. The other, I lost my train of thought. Apologize. I was sorry. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or biweekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or biweekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or biweekly with that journal to utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again on Monday.